Throwing sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, got some bad news. You know, I've had, this is bad news for me, but a lot of people, it's a damn decent fight, right? You got the legend in Manny Pacquiao. Anybody knows Manny Pacquiao. Everybody knows Manny Pacquiao. He said he's leaning towards fighting 3-division champ or 4-division champion Mikey Garcia. Um, that's the fight he's leaning towards instead of the Terence Crawford fight, which I would rather see. Think it has more meaning and a whole lot of things. Right now, when you're talking Mikey Garcia, even though I consider Mikey Garcia to be a hero, the dude handles his business in 130, 135, whatever, even 140. Remember his dude going up there, Slatikanan, and then right after that, Adrian Broner handled his business. And you got to give him props for, being at 140, talking about, actually, before under 140, really. Talking about, I see things with Errol Spence, going up 2 weight divisions to fight Errol Spence, right? A big welterweight, and but lost every round. But going up there to try it, right? And with taking your undefeated record up there. So basically, anybody around Mikey Garcia's size, you're going to have problems with. That's why I think Mikey Garcia has been pushing for this Manny Pacquiao fight because, let's be real. Manny Pacquiao's not going to be bigger than him, not taller than him, right? And then he's a legend on top of it. Because Mikey Garcia, against any of the elite welterweights, he's going to have a problem. He's going to have a problem with Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, right? Errol Spence, we saw, and then Terence Crawford, right? Anything elite like that is probably going to have a problem. And then those up-and-comers like Virgil Ortiz might be a problem because Mike Garcia, he did unanimous decision Jesse Vargas. So, he's a decent welterweight, but I think he'll probably be better served at that 140-pound division. But he got that Adrian Broner syndrome working, right? I better leave them 147-pounders alone, the best ones, right? But can I make 140? You know what I'm saying? So who knows what's going to happen there. But bottom line is, right now, Mike Garcia is not an elite welterweight, so it's really nothing for Manny Pacquiao to gain there. Really, Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford would be bigger pay-per-views. It would be a bigger fight. It would be a lot of legacy on the line there for both fighters. For Terence Crawford, for finally being able to get Manny Pacquiao and show what he can do against Pacquiao. For Pacquiao, it's like at my age, advanced age right here, taking on this guy who most are calling #1 pound for pound, right? Pacquiao has nothing to lose there. All he got to do is kind of look as good as he looked against Floyd Mayweather up in that area. Now, Terence Crawford will have the pressure to do better than the Floyd Mayweather or beat Manny Pacquiao like people have been saying, right? But the thing is, here, I got to be real with you. I just ain't getting no good news. It's not any black fighters in any major fights, right? That my last hope right now is Jamel Charlo versus Castaño for undisputed at the 154-pound weight division. Because we just can't get one. Can't nobody get in a big fight. Right? Just brothers can't get no big fights, man. It is what it is. And Mike Garcia doesn't have a belt right now. Right? The only thing they have in common is he's a Spence opponent. Right? He's an Errol Spence opponent, and maybe Manny Pacquiao said I could beat him better than Errol Spence did. But other than that, I don't really see what Pacquiao would want him, why he would want him other than Bud Crawford. And the reason why, we know. And those are the reasons why Bud Crawford is the #1 pound for pound. That's why we have to shift our focus to Manny Pacquiao. He wanted everybody. This Bud Crawford fight, he wanted $20 million first, then he wanted $40 million. Now they messing around and trying to go get it from the Middle East, and now he's saying Mikey Garcia instead of Bud Crawford. He won't make nearly that kind of money fighting Mikey Garcia, right? Bud Crawford, this has been going on for 6 years with Terence Crawford. And it's a feather in his cap. It should be some kind of award because when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, he just doesn't want to fight Bud Crawford. And his fans don't want it either. And for years, everyone else, Manny Pacquiao could fight. Everyone else, they're ready to see him fight him. No problems with Manny Pacquiao fighting anybody. But when it comes to Bud Crawford, boom, we don't want to see that. And it has to be funny for Manny Pacquiao because his trainer, Freddie Roach, was saying it. His promoter at the time, Bob Arum, was saying he don't want to get him hurt. Anybody, if you want to check it out, my pound for pound list, I put them in every video right now. My pound for pound list, part one, part two, the top 10 pound for pound. Yeah, there, it's edited. I got some things in there. You can see some of these quotes from then, right? It's documented. So Pacquiao, it's something with this Terence Crawford. He ain't trying to mess with him. So that's a feather in Terence Crawford's cap. We can't just keep ignoring why that is. If Terence Crawford don't get the fight, we can't be talking about who he fought, right? I'm gonna tell you something, right? Tell you something. What Terence Crawford was. If somebody, without knowing him and not following him on no damn social media or nothing, just knowing Terence Crawford, what he wants. Terence Crawford wants Pacquiao, period, for the legacy, right? And when Pacquiao had the WBA title, but he doesn't anymore, so now it's just for the legacy, because Spence is going to fight Ugas. After that, he wants Errol Spence for undisputed, right? And if he wins that, after that, then he would want him to go up to 154 and fight Jamal Charlo for undisputed, who would have fought Castaño by the time. That's if somebody would ask Terence Crawford, without me knowing him, what he would like to do, because that would make him a 3-division undisputed champion, right? I mean, it's out there right now to do all of that, but that's what his perfect scenario would be. This is what he's trying to do. That's why he's trying to get Pacquiao. So we can't do nothing about it, man. I just know this when it comes to Terence Crawford, the man's number one pound for pound. When he leaves divisions, right, the divisions are quiet. Ain't nobody, when he was at 135 and left, dudes in there talking about, hey man, Bud left yet? Alright. Hey, so what was you talking about, fool? Right? Then the arguments start after he leave. But he leaves the division quiet. Everybody's quiet until he leaves. 140, everybody was quiet because he was undisputed. Right? So when he wants to get up in the 147, if he gets Pacquiao, he has that legacy fight. Then he gets Errol Spence, and then everybody can be quiet. Now we got people that will call Terence Crawford out who have nothing to lose, right? Like Virgil Ortiz right now. I'm pretty sure he hears that. But right now, just let me get these titles, and then we can dance, right? Same thing with Sean Porter. Yeah, Sean for sure. But right now, if you would have beat Errol Spence, this is a whole different conversation. Sean Porter wouldn't even have to be knocking at his door, guaranteed. He'll be like, okay, dude, we friends, but you got the title. I'm trying to get undisputed here. Everybody ignores that with Terence Crawford, like they don't see what he's up to. He's trying to be undisputed at 147 and then be undisputed at 154. And that would make him 3-division undisputed. That's what he's trying to do. Definitely first one thing at a time. He's trying to get one. So let's just give him that. Bottom line is this too. When it comes to these guys I call Negro League fighters, we can't get no black guys in big fights. I call them Negro League fighters. Doesn't matter who. We can start from the heavyweights for Deontay Wilder, Louis DeVille, King Kong Ortiz, middleweight, Demetrius Andrade, and Charlo. Right there, Devin Haney, Michael Hunter, right, Guillermo Rigondeaux, those kind of things. Negro League fighters, right? Period. And with all of these fighters that don't get these fights, whoever they won't get a fight with, trust me, when they're walking out, if they did sign a fight against any of those fighters, the fighters that they won't fight, when they're walking out to the ring, the announcer, the commentators will be saying, that is his hardest fight, or arguably his hardest fight to date. The other one will correct him and say, not arguably, it is his hardest fight to date. Right? Starting with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. Manny Pacquiao's storied career that he's had up until now. If he walks out against Terence Crawford, they're going to be saying this could arguably be his hardest fight to date. Right? His toughest task. And somebody going to say, not arguably, it is. Because you're going to consider his age in there as well. So that's what they're going to say about that fight. Any fight. Any fight. Anything with Devin Haney. If Lomachenko will fight Devin Haney right now, this could be his toughest task to date. Right? If Lopez will fight Devin Haney right now, Teofimo, this is his toughest task to date. If Ryan Garcia would, that would be his toughest task to date, wouldn't it? Canelo versus Andrade, that would be his toughest task to date. Canelo versus Charlo, that would be his toughest task to date. GGG versus Charlo, toughest task to date. Andrade, toughest task to date. Undisputed guys. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm just trying to say. Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz against whoever in the heavyweight. Whoever. They would definitely say arguably his toughest test after Joshua would walk up there with Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. Right now. If he's right now before his Tyson Fury fight. Even after that. And he fights Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. Toughest fight to date. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. Anybody. Toughest fight to date. Naomi Inoue, the monster, way down there handling his business at 118 pounds, right? You know, won the WBSS tournament. Yes, if all of a sudden, you know, he was walking out to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux at 41 years old, toughest fight to date. That's what they're going to say. If somebody going to say arguably, right, because they don't want to give you the props right there. One of them going to say arguably, but he's going to be corrected by the analyst. Who's going to say, sorry about that arguably thing. No, toughest fight to date. And all those guys that would be the toughest fights to date don't never get no fights. Negro League fighters in a whole different league, acting like we don't know what they're doing and we ain't giving them no damn opportunity. That's why when this has been Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia, who I consider to be awesome, right, it's a decent fight. But I would like to see Pacquiao versus Bud Crawford so we can move on in the welterweight division. That fight has no significance. Yes, we understand Manny Pacquiao can fight whoever the hell he wants to, right? We understand that. But we're still disappointed it's not Bud because Pacquiao's not going to be in the mix. So that means you can just take that over there because Pacquiao wanted Ryan Garcia. Pacquiao wanted Conor McGregor. Now he's leaning towards Mikey Garcia, right? Things that are not very significant. So if that's going to be the case, then that's going to be the damn case. But then everybody shift your focus to Bud Crawford because he's the one that can't get a fight. So if he can't have the title of getting these fights to prove it, then damn it, everybody just crown him number one pound for pound and not mistake it with nothing. This is the reason why he's number one pound for pound for things just like this. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And we up out of here, y'all.